For a while, I felt like if I changed my content over time, that people would see that as a reflection of who I am and what I value. Oh, it's like a black licorice celery. I don't know, I think more people could like the bok choy, but fennel is a strong number 2. Today, we're gonna be ranking and reviewing these Cheez-Its using the spectrum, the generational spectrum. On this end, you got the silent generation, and on this end of the spectrum, you got Gen Alpha. We're starting with original. Now, this is giving major boomer vibes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to expand my horizons a little bit.
I respect that you were even coming over to my side of the internet to come talk about it, because I am very much so a racial investigator, and
this real fast because this is crazy. iDubbbz has posted a brand new YouTube video. I think it was on New Year's Eve.
Oh no!
Dude, this is such a weird video, right? Not because of the subject matter. I mean, it is weird because of the subject matter, but that's not really the point. It's weird because I couldn't find any promotion about it. I was looking for like any threads at the time of streaming today, and the first thread I found was like on the Destiny subreddit, and it was just some guy getting told constantly that everybody actually hates Ian, and like you probably shouldn't use him as like a vessel to make content like this. Like, ew, iDubbbz sucks. Watch his latest video and tell me that. I don't have an opinion on this man, but are you incapable of understanding human behavior? Nothing about his beliefs or who he associates with would imply an affinity for Destiny. Have you seen his latest video? iDubbbz video, OP unironically was in a coma for 10 years and just woke up. Everyone in this thread would rather look smart for saying a guy is washed up than watch a good new video. I was just a little excited, and now people are pissed. Oh god, I feel like this is one of those guys who thinks that Destiny's evil because of the lefty arc. This whole thread is people with vibes who don't actually watch videos. I'm gonna go back to this thread, but this was the only thread that I could find even talking about it. Like, there is literally no promotion for this video outside of people posting screenshots of it that get like fucking 15,000 likes. That's the only thing I've seen. This is content cop abortion. I can't wait. I don't know. I'm not really, like, this isn't really my subject. Obviously, breadtube stuff is not really my thing. But I'm going to watch it because it's iDubbbz, and this is his first plunge into breadtube chat. I don't know what it is. We've been covering a lot of breadtubers. Not trying to typecast myself over here, but this has just been a complete disaster for the last couple of for weeks over there. But they've got a new recruit. Okay, there's a new recruit. Mr. iDubbbz will be showing up now to give his best impression of a breadtuber. All right.
We've never ever seen a generation or a group of people so angry, so miserable, so medicated.
My body, my choice. The feel when we control your bodies.
Dude, holy shit.
Messaging from the left is still so anti-male.
We will keep you down forever.
The women with the least likelihood of getting pregnant are the ones most worried about having abortions.
If you are an American woman, you have every right to choose in the world.
I mean, I hate to break it to you ladies, but
gotta say, music choice, little corny right off the bat.
You might not have had a choice in the matter.
Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thong.
I think it would be awesome for the looming fertility crisis if everyone here had 7 children. People say no less than 7. I think 7's a good start. I think 7's good. Or whatever number, 4, 5, 6.
Ever use these on your butthole?
His first words. Oh no. Oh, he's using his powers for good, not evil, chat. He's using his powers for good.
Ever use these on your butthole? It doesn't work out well. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of iDubbbz.
Wait, no way. Frogan's in the video. They put Frogan in this video?
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of iDubbbz Complains.
Someone just said, oh, this editing is bad. Give him cut him some slack. He hasn't made a good video in fucking 6 years.
Today, I'm going to be complaining about a little bit of a heavier topic than portion sizes at Cold.
Dude, my favorite iDubbbz complaint was the one where he was talking about how he's totally cool people jacking off to his wife. That was a low blow. I'm sorry. And it wasn't even from her OnlyFans.
Stone. This is a video about abortion.
Overplayed,
it's a very big topic,
overplayed,
a very serious topic. I know. I'm going to treat it with all the respect that it deserves, all the sanctity that it deserves. Back in November...
I'm just saying, all right, I understand. Everyone's made the joke a million times. It's been fucking years. Let it go. I get it. But why would he not, like, rename the series, right? I feel like I would just completely dead that series after that video. That was like a traumatic experience, I imagine.
There was a trend amongst Twitter incels to tweet out some version of your body, my choice. And for all of the self-hating women, it was my body, his choice. Of course, a lot of these accounts...
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna be a total dick right now. And this is... I don't know. I just feel like if this was Mr. Beast we were talking about, and you wanted to make a video talking about abortion and your body, my choice, and talking about Nick Fuentes, Rosanna Pansino would be making a thing being like, you're not even going to cover his assassination attempt or something, as if like that's, I don't know, this is just my Mr. Beast frustrations coming out. It's like, I want to make a video talking about abortion. You're not even going to mention the fact that the guy you're talking about nearly got assassinated? No, it has nothing to do with the topic of my video. I don't need to put a fucking 20-minute disclaimer talking about how it's wrong to assassinate people. That's what it feels like when you cover Mr. Beast. I want to cover the video I want to make. I don't want to make your video.
Either went private or are suspended, which is quite the accomplishment to do on Elon Musk's Twitter.
Trying to speak to a wide range of audiences here.
But for a lot of these accounts that remain active, with a couple of clicks onto their profile, it's pretty fucking obvious why they're tweeting out the things that they're tweeting out. They're just hateful people. We got a woman wearing a
I thought he was going to say to make money, and I would have believed it. Because there are just so many fucking accounts on X. And again, I will defend X to the day I die, because even if it's the worst platform in the world, I'm not going to get banned from there, and I need that social media to reach people. So, unfortunately, Elon has destroyed the site, but he's also made it so I can continue to use it indefinitely. And it's still better than post Jack Doherty Twitter by like a mile, right? I forgot where I was going with this. I gotta be honest with you. I don't remember where I was going with it.
Confederate
Hold
flag.
on. Let me. Oh, okay. So, but one of the major pitfalls of Elon Twitter is that there are constantly just people who are baiting with the most retarded shit possible, knowing that they're going to get like 20,000 likes of just idiots fighting with them. That's where you get these tweets where it's like, I think Sydney Sweeney is actually a fat hog, or like Zendaya is the ugliest woman on the planet. Oh my gosh, or whatever, or fucking. Like a picture of like, I think yesterday someone posted a picture of Sabrina Carpenter when she was 15 years old and said she looks like a disgusting animal without makeup or something. Oh, I actually think it was Pearly Things. I think Pearly Things made a whole tier list of women or whatever without makeup, some of which were completely doctored photographs to farm engagement. And she picked a picture where Sydney was, where Sabrina Carpenter was a fucking child to assess how hot she was. Like, that's fucking crazy. Pearly Things has a history of making comments that are kind of weird like that, but obviously I imagine this one was unintentional. Yeah, I don't know, it's just like fucking crazy. There's so much weird engagement farming going on the site, particularly with women, but also with like other shit too. I don't know.
Saying my body, his choice. Now, how would this get worse? Oh, Nazi shit. My body, his choice. Nazi shit. And also selling courses on how to be more feminine. My body, his choice. Nazi shit. Your body, my choice, and Hitler! Okay. I think
we are aware of who Nick Fuentes is. We are not supporting him. We do, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know.
For sample size. I just wanted to...
I mean, Twitter was like this before ETH. No, it wasn't. All those guys were banned. There's got to be some middle ground of, like, horrible bot engagement farming and, you know, just general discussion of use. And again, even before this, there was no making money. They're doing this for money. Elon's friends seem to get significantly more ad revenue than everybody else does. And I feel like I'm not the only one noticing that. I am not getting cut the paychecks that some of these other people are, and I'm pulling in millions of impressions per month. I am calling fucking bullshit on that. I think that there's different cuts for different people. Just my opinion. No data to back that up.
Show you guys that if you did...
I just don't think Ian Miles Chung is getting the same ad rates that I am.
side to look at any of these people's accounts, you're not going to find an educated person. You're not going to find a kind person. You're just going to find a nasty piece of shit. Now let's talk about a woman's value. What is a woman?
People always route people, oh, that's social media. But now I think that they're doing it. They're engagement farming, but maybe I wasn't clear about it. They're doing it because they're making money. Yeah.
Woman's value. I guess you can narrow it down to reproductive organs. Like, okay, her value is giving birth.
That is what the secularist left would like, apparently, is you take away the thing that makes women most women, i.e. getting married and having children. You take those things away from them, and then that will make them the happiest they have ever been. There's only one problem. There is no data to support that anywhere on Earth.
To take the part of you that is the most unique to your sex and then discard that or treat that as though that is a downside to who you are,
So we're talking about, is this... I'm confused. This is like going into trans issues now?
To what womanhood is. It's very puzzling.
Are we going into what is a woman now?
Not even remotely puzzling. Let's just...
Oh, God. Oh. All right. I'm giving this video a chance.
Stop for a moment.
I don't even know if I'll disagree with what he's actually saying in it, to be honest.
And think about why this is so fucking stupid. Why would you discard what makes you so incredible as a male? Your ability to bust. Your ability to bust is just so fantastic.
Okay, okay, cool.
Bust belt or bust. Bust through their front door, bust you in the mouth. When she loved the bus. Remember that time when Kamala Harris loved the bus? They presented her with the bus from The Fugitive.
I mean, you create the seed of life, Ben. Why would you discard that like it's a downside? It's not a downside. You should be busting left and right, Benjamin. Benjamin Shapiro, you are the bust king.
Oh, this is really hard to watch. I gotta be honest with you, this is very bad. I don't know what happened. This guy... I swear to God, he was funny. There was a time where this guy was one of the funniest people on YouTube.
Women do not want to be known as, I was gonna say the bust queens. I think a lot of women would prefer not to be known as baby maker, and she kind of does art on the side. Baby maker, and she does baking. She makes a pretty good...
Is it just me, or is his audio quality really shaky? Like, I feel like I have to raise the volume and then it peaks.
Souffle. She's a baby maker, and she sells some clothes on Depop.
I think we understand.
They're not going to forget that this is what they do. They have reminders.
You know what it is? He does not have any bravado or confidence anymore. I was talking about this the other night, and it's just... He used to ooze confidence. He was basically playing a character because it couldn't have possibly been him. But everything he said had like a bit of edge to it. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about edgy humor. I'm talking like this guy like walked in the room and punched the biggest guy in the room every single time. And he did it with like a smile on his face. He looks like a whimpering little girl in this video.
Every month.
He's got no aura. True. He's like a modern COD Zombies map. All right. They used to put a lot more effort into those.
Of what they are and what they can do with their body. They don't need that to be their title. Just like you and I don't need Buster Extraordinaire as our titles.
Women find fulfillment in being married and having children. I can testify to this in my own life. My wife, of course, very famously a doctor, went to UCLA Medical School, brilliant woman. Also, the place where she easily finds the most fulfillment.
I think you can find fulfillment in a lot of different places. You can find it in your job. You can find it with your friends. You could absolutely find it by having a full family. I think that's definitely true.
I don't respect. And she'll tell you this, bar none, without a doubt, being a mom, being a wife. Those are the places where she finds the most fulfillment.
That's awesome. I would love for a lot of women to have the choice that your wife had and be able to postpone their pregnancy until a later date when they finish college, maybe have a stable job, and maybe aren't with like an abusive partner. You know, that would be ideal.
I could just use protection. Again, like, I don't know.
My wife's a doctor. She currently is not practicing because she's still taking care
That's like a pretty easy way to, you know, postpone that, I guess.
Of the new baby. And our 3 other children. And I will venture to say that she works harder taking care of our kids and doing work in the community than she did as a doctor sometimes. Because it turns out that career women, like, for example, my wife, a doctor, the thing she's most proud of is being a mom. I mean, like, this is very obvious.
It's very subjective, one person's fucking... Now, listen, all right, I know this is true because my wife is going through it. Therefore, this is how everyone must feel.
Stuff.
Ben Shapiro will constantly use his wife as an example of what is fulfilling to a...
See, like, I agree with... I knew exactly where this was going, and I think he's correct.
Woman, specifically a mother and a wife, but he does this after his wife has graduated, worked as a doctor, and now has kids. And I think the reason that your wife finds fulfillment out of being a mother is because she has something to compare it to, which is a career. And you can't play this game where you're like, my wife ended up finding more fulfillment, therefore women are going to find more fulfillment out of being a mother. Let them decide that on their own. Now, Ben and his cohorts obviously think that men and women have particular roles when it comes to being a parent.
Mothers are there to nurture, males are there to protect.
I'm talking about traditional roles, like wife or mother for a woman, or father and protector for a man. The great joy of life in being a wife and being a mom, the great joy in life of being a father and a husband and a protector and a provider.
The women will create more life, something men cannot do, and the men will protect them.
And especially as the head of the household, the male, you must constantly be looking at...
Yeah, so it's like the nuclear family. I understand. I get it. Can we get to the speaking part now?
Fucking fighter pilot? What are you protecting?
It's really hard to just fit in some kind of reaction here when he plays like 16 people saying the same sentence over and over again.
Your kids from? Just come out and say it. You're protecting your kids from drag shows.
Or, you know, the New York subways. I think there was another murder there recently, right? Or was there another stabbing? I forgot which one. Do not go on the subways. You know that Eli Manning, the quarterback of the New York Giants, had it in his contract that he was not allowed. He would have forfeited his money if he rode the subway in New York. There was another. No, I think it was after the burning. I thought there was another murder.
The attack vectors.
Attack?
Do not go outside. It's not really like that. I mean, like, there's just a lot of fucking people getting fucking killed or stabbed on this one fucking subway. In this one location, rather, not this one subway.
Vectors. Are you a fucking fighter pilot? What are you protecting your kids from? Just come out and say it.
It's a massive problem in New York City. I don't know, bro.
Protecting your kids from drag shows. We're in the...
I feel like there's other reasons to protect your kids other than drag shows. Seems like a straw man.
21st century, you need to wipe your kids' ass, you need to teach them good values, and you need to play ball with them.
Okay.
Like, what is this protector shit? You ain't protecting anything.
There are...
Oh my god, that's such a California position. That is such a California take. What? You can't even, like, empathize with the idea that you might have to, like, serve in a protector role. Like, I feel like it's a better angle to say, like, well, I mean, I think that the mother can protect their child as well. But then you'd have to, I don't know, then we'd have to start talking about, like, guns and okay.
3 types of people in this world. There are predators, there are infants, and the protectors of infants.
And again, he'll play all these clips, and I think all these people are crazy, just to be clear.
Infants. You fall into one of those 3 categories.
Oh shit, I didn't know those were the rules that we were playing this game with. Damn it. Okay, I'm not an infant. I don't think I've ever protected an infant. Oh no. No. Boy, back up. I don't like these rules. I'm not an infant. I'm not a protector of an infant.
The joke is that he's calling you a predator. I understand, I get it.
Okay, how about this? There's 3 types of people in this world. Pedophiles, protectors of pedophiles, and people named iDubbbz. Yeah, that's...
Did he, like, set that laugh up? Was that something that he filmed a few times?
Pedophiles, and people named iDubbbz.
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty easy dunk. I agree. That was a very unfunny joke, though, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I really hate this idea of getting so, like, laser focused.
I gotta be honest with you, guy from Destiny's Discord server that I'm directly talking to for no apparent reason. I don't think this is your guy. I just don't. I don't think this is your guy. I don't think the message you're looking for is gonna resonate here.
Focused on these particular roles. That's the beauty in being...
I say that as someone who's probably closer in position to you than most of my chat.
Human being. We can both do these roles. Like, what the fuck is a single mother, if not a provider, if not a protector, if not a nurturer? She does all of the things that the man does. So why are we giving this title to men? Men and women...
Maybe if your wife didn't run the creator clash, it would have made some money for charity.
Are protectors.
Maybe you should protect your wife from making bad decisions.
They're nurturers. They do all the things. By the way, the reason I'm saying this is just to suggest what they're saying is horseshit. If you have found in your personal life that your husband going off to work is a better setup and it's just a lot easier for you.
No, because your wife going off to work has done you it's done so good for you. You've made such crazy advancements with this strategy.
Or your wife staying at home taking care of the...
Yeah, we will rent out the Tampa Bay Lightning Stadium, and we will have 3 gallows, and we will... Yeah, dude, she's doing great. She's awesome, dude.
Kids is better. That's
businesswoman extraordinaire.
Awesome. More power to you. That's great. But we shouldn't pretend that our lives are other people's lives. When left
again, though, that's an unfair. Like, it's the same problem I had with Ben Shapiro. All right, my argument is entirely based off of iDubbbz's wife being dreadful at everything she does. That's probably not indicative of the average American mother. Okay, it probably isn't.
Women were protesting their rights being infringed. Ben Shapiro and Matt Gaetz both decided it was a good idea to mock them for being ugly or unfuckable.
So apparently, there are a bunch of left-wing women who are now declaring a sex strike. I mean, I hate to break it to you ladies, but you might not have had a choice in the matter, depending on exactly who you are anyway.
I don't think there's any real problem with making that joke.
Women with the least likelihood of getting pregnant are the ones most...
It's not like he said that about a group of, like, rape survivors. He said it about... I don't think there's really anything wrong with that. It seems like a pretty fine joke.
Most worried about having abortions. Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thumb.
Okay, that was a little worse, personally. I don't know.
I feel like this is important to highlight because I feel like it's very telling that there isn't much ammo left.
It sounds like the way that these streamers talk about their haters as if they're all incels. Like, she doesn't want to fuck you, bro. I wouldn't fuck him anyway, or whatever. Like, it sounds like this. It's the same shit. It's identical to the same. I guarantee that you could find a clip of Anissa where she said something similar.
In the chamber when it comes to women's reproductive rights. When Ben Shapiro is resorting to mocking women and saying that they're ugly, well, I mean, let's be real. He didn't say they're ugly.
Oh, you guys mock guys all the time.
He just implied that they were ugly. He was basically calling them ugly in lawyer speak.
You might not have had a choice in the matter, depending on exactly who you are anyway.
I can't wait for him to apologize for this video in 5 years due to this becoming offensive somehow. Could you imagine? Like, it's a totally fine video by today's standards, but we create some advanced racism in the next 3 years and he has to apologize for it.
I've noticed with a lot of these right-wing...
Guys, we've come to terms with the fact that that saying anything negative about Jewish people, including Ben Shapiro, is now illegal and incorrect. All right, we're gonna have to fix that.
Men is, I think they're watching that pickup artist guy from, what was he from, like MTV or something? The guy with the big fuzzy hat?
Are you ready to know the 5 attraction switches that exist in every woman ubiquitously?
Because they're taking this approach of like telling women what they want and telling women what they need and what would make them happy and what makes them unhappy.
Having 3 kids is a really big deal and will make you happier. And a lot of women want to be stay-at-home moms.
Most women want to make babies. Most women want to have babies. Most women...
Have you ever heard of like a biological clock? I don't think that's necessarily wrong. Dude, you ever see like a 27-year-old woman? And I'm speaking from experience here. Who's like, oh, I don't want kids, I don't want kids, I don't want kids. And then their friend gets pregnant and has the baby and they're like, oh, fuck, I really want kids. I don't know, something just hits you. I don't know what it is. Again, that's my personal experience. This is what I've seen. Right? But I do think that a majority of these women get fucking baby fever. Yeah, sure.
Are happier at home.
I don't think that's some crazy take.
They are pretending that they like working.
But you're talking...
I'm not saying they pretend they like working. I do think that women like having a career.
To the women. They know. The women are going to tell you what makes you happy and what makes you fulfilled. Why are you doing it to them?
Like a perfect example is like the pickup artists. What they say is that really with women, it's the same bag of tricks. You know, they're not fully rational. I don't believe that like men, they possess a sort of full rationality.
Our attraction circuit looks at a woman's replication value more than her survival value. And it is all because of one device that...
I like this tribal music in the background. Can I say tribal? Is that offensive to anybody in particular? Is that the part that ages poorly?
is hooked up to her brain that
what tribes are you talking about here? Okay.
She has hardwired into her chassis that we do not possess. A uterus.
That doesn't work either.
This uterus is...
What the fuck? I'm sorry. What the fuck is happening?
Going to change her behaviors.
Most women want to make babies.
Most women are happier at home.
You guys are shitting on this. I don't actually hate this editing.
Women want to have babies.
Most women like making homes. And
I don't like how he's gone to the well on this spam clip video thing over and over and over again. And we're only 10 minutes in. This video feels way longer because he just bloats the video with just highlight clips of people saying the same thing over and over again. I feel like this is a solid introductory segment and outro segment that he keeps playing throughout the video.
Like raising children,
but most women are not funny. You know what?
Drop the uterus bass, true.
Most women are not willing to embarrass themselves.
They're not doing the one thing.
Now listen, all right, don't say, oh, don't lie and say you enjoy this. I think this is, I like the whole pulsing uterus thing. I don't hate it.
That they want to do, which is to get married.
I actually like the music choice here more than I liked the other ones.
And have children.
The vast majority of women are happy.
I didn't like how it kind of faded away, but I thought it was a decent concept.
Having kids.
If it's so fucking obvious that this is what women want, you shouldn't have to be chirping like you are. It should just be automatic. You should have some faith that these women aren't children, and that even if they're led astray and they get a career as a lawyer, after doing that for a few years, 10 years, they'll be like, okay, I'm ready for something different. The fact that they continue to spew this rhetoric is so...
Oh, nice. He said chirping a Hassan viewer? Wait, is chirping a Hassan thing?
So fucking insane to me because so many...
Wait, is that a Hassan coded message? I missed it.
These men are married to career women.
By the way, guys, we've had 3,000 people in here all night. We're down to 2,800 and we don't even have 1,000 likes on the stream, all right? Come on, guys, let's get those likes up.
Women who got a job as a doctor, women who went through college and ended up having a career and did their career for a while and then had children.
We should say focus on family formation in your early 20s, then go to college in your late 30s.
There we go. That's the shit I like, guys. You're killing it.
They say, the boys don't want to date me anymore because they're not at their prime, and people get mad when I say.
Oh my God. What are these guys going to do when they're 40? When they're still doing this fucking gimmick.
Hey, that was just true. If you're in your early 30s, I'm sorry, it's you're not as attractive in the dating pool as you were in the early 20s. But again, you have your corporate job and cats, so I thought you know.
I'm pretty unsympathetic to the fact that Charlie Kirk thinks his wife is hotter in her 20s than she is now. What I take issue with is the fact that he's telling so many young people that they should get married and have kids in their 20s and postpone their careers till their 30s and 40s. But that is not what he did, and that's not what many of his colleagues did. If that's not what you did, you need to pair your rhetoric with, I fucked up. He should be telling all these women on this podcast, I fucked up. Me and all my conservative colleagues who spent our early 20s grinding, we shouldn't have done that.
All this talk about how you're going to be fulfilled having a career as a high-powered lawyer at 50 with no kids is nonsense.
A lot of them take on jobs that, they know is not going to result in some budding career. It's usually in fashion or textiles or something like that.
That if they put their entire life's meaning into their credential, into where they went to school, into what kind of job they have, if you put all of your life's meaning into that, you're going to be a sad, lonely, pathetic person, and you're going to know it internally, so you're going to project it onto people who have actually built something more meaningful with their lives.
It is crazy the amount of strays that are coming out of these people's mouths. All of their rhetoric can apply to...
It is, I'm hearing it now, strays, rhetoric. You can clearly see where he's spending his time, which is fantastic, by the way. They just keep multiplying, like the Hassan entities.
Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Laura Ingraham, all of these right-wing women who decided to focus in their 20s.
First child at 31, first child at 39 via IVF, first child at 45 via adoption, single parent, never married.
On grinding. Like many men are able to do, they decided to forego having kids and wait until they were in their 30s, or I think in some cases their 40s, to have kids. You're not going to hear Ben Shapiro lampooning Candace Owens for waiting until she was 30 to have kids. There's a clip of this young conservative woman who's trying to reach Charlie Kirk and basically say what about women having careers?
It's just a hypocrisy argument. Yeah, I think that's what he's making, and I don't think he's entirely wrong about it. Again, I rattle on about how these left-wingers don't self-police at all whatsoever. These guys, the right-wingers just ignore everything. They don't even address it. They don't even protect. They don't even sweep. They just never mention it.
Cuts her down.
I just think the whole political brain rot scene is awful.
Any women, a majority, like 90+% deep down, have this urge to reproduce and to raise children, and we are telling them to forsake that and go become a CEO of a shoe company.
A better way to propose feminism in the public media would be not to eliminate having children and tell women that they shouldn't have children, but to figure out your career first before you decide to like settle down, because you can't really undo that once you have kids.
So I think it's the exact opposite. I think you should have kids first, then do your career. Because which one has...
Chat, the most important thing that you should do before you have kids and settle down with a woman is buy a Rolex, okay? You won't be able to afford that when you have kids. Okay, that's the most important thing you can do. You gotta buy pinball machines and Rolexes.
The timetable on it.
True, but like once you have kids, you're committed to that, and you can't really have as much of a career, so you...
Listen, you're not a bad dad if the kid doesn't exist yet, okay?
Good.
Kind of define your, like, I guess what I'm trying to...
Kids are way more important than being, you know, a data scientist at Dropbox.
But
why? Why? There's gonna be... Dude, I'm sorry, bro. There are families that have 13 fucking children, alright? They're repopulating just fine. Who cares? A few of us could take the time off, you know? Oh, wait, I don't think you like the people who are having 13 kids right now.
This clip pisses me off so much because he's being very disingenuous. He's trying to, like, in this moment, elevate the role of a mother as being the most important thing ever. And you would be stupid to have your sights set on any of these other career options. A data scientist? Well, you'd be a fucking moron to want to be a data scientist at Dropbox.
Kids are way more important.
Dude, the physics on this one is so terrible, but this is like a real machine that I played.
Than being a data scientist at Dropbox.
What happens when you speak to men? You want to spend your life going to different college campuses because you think the textbooks are too woke? That's like the most unimportant thing ever. Pro-life people will...
Oh my god, this is so... I'm sorry, it is really a hard watch. I'm being as nice as I can, I think.
Often boil down the reasons women...
Which probably isn't like the lucrative decision. I feel like if I just sat here and fucking lampooned this video for 3 hours or whatever, people would be more happy with me.
Have abortions into like 3-ish categories. 1, to protect the life of the mother. 2, rape or incest. And 3, convenience.
And now they want to be able to... Content strategy problems here, Nick. I'll help you maximize your money, all right?
Genuine question about iDubbbz. Did his wife really influence him to be the way he is?
I think that's the
case.
case.
He has always done his editing and ideas, etc., but if you go back to his older vids, he says he did all that stuff.
I think that is probably the case to some degree. But to know how much is... I think that there are a lot of people who really like to cope about iDubbbz because they think that like the fucking guy from all those years ago is like locked in a cage, okay? He's locked in a cage. You can't let him out, all right? His wife is holding him hostage. There's nothing that can be done about this. And I think that like this is something that a lot of people think. I think the thing that you have to realize growing up is realizing that iDubbbz was always a massive, colossal pussy. And he probably just needed a bit of a push to get to where he is right now. I think that...
I don't respect you.
I think that certain things that happened to him probably contributed to this outside of just his wife. Like, I think that the hate that he got, people calling him racist, that as much as people mock it, I do think there's a lot of... Like, it has a lot to do with the random people who walked up to him, the white kids who were saying NF or whatever to him at the fucking convention. I'm sure that freaked him out and stuff. And then just general garbage. I mean, you see this a lot with a lot of people. They go on these crazy political awakenings. And then they reevaluate their entire lives and all the things they've done up to this point and condemn it. And I see this a lot with people who grow up, I guess. I don't want to say grow and change because... change and grow, the way that people use it online implies it's a good change.
Can I say something
that like everything that's been done here is like on the up and up. I think that you can look at somebody like Ethan Klein, who's made, I guess, edgier content in the past and then went the other way and went super hard that way and kind of found a nice healthy middle ground as somebody who's in an infinitely more healthy position than Ian is right now. I feel like Ian is still in the self-hating, self-flagellating state where he's trying to make up for the fact that he has been convinced he bred like an entire wave of racism online. I think when he looks at Charlie Kirk and he looks at Nick Fuentes, I think he sees himself as like a not so distant a not so distant contributor to some of the things that he comes out to defend. So he has to come out and like morally grandstand and make all of his videos like this now to kind of make up for it.
Use scientific medical technology out of convenience. Vast majority of them are abortions of convenience and choice. So most are abortions out of convenience. 25% of all abortions in this country are done out of economic convenience. Do you think that's okay? We're going to keep on allowing abortion out of narcissism, convenience, and not taking responsibility.
Now, obviously, convenience can include many things. In fact, I have a long list of things. This is from Oklahoma. There's only so many states in the U.S. who will actually track the reasons a woman got an abortion, and each state does it a bit differently. I found that Oklahoma is very thorough. And when you plot all of these reasons on a pie chart, it actually starts to look a little bit different than this pie chart where it's like, oh, look at all of these abortions out of convenience. There are a lot of
misleading graph, misleading data. Yeah, this is pretty standard stuff.
Extremely valid reasons as to why someone would get an
And valid is always completely subjective, so having one metric that says like convenience isn't necessarily a good indicator on what that could be.
Abortion that would fall under Charlie Kirk's umbrella of convenience. If having a child is going to affect your mental health at all, abortion out of convenience. Abusive partner, anyone in your life who's fucking abusive and is going to be close to your child, that would be an abortion out of convenience. Not having the finances, literally not being able to afford taking care of a child. These are all very valid reasons to get an abortion. He's being very manipulative by saying that women are doing this out of convenience because you would never use that word.
What is the odds the pie chart doesn't even equate to 100? I mean, I would say it's... I want to say unlikely, I just don't know.
For other difficult life choices, if you put...
I mean, this seems like a pretty solid argument here. Your mileage is going to vary on whether you think these things are convenience. I'm sure people would say, like, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't be having unprotected sex if you're fucking not able to afford a fucking child. And it's like, well, I don't know. It's not always on purpose that stuff like this happens. I don't know.
Your elder,
it's not like our fucking adoption system is perfect either. I wouldn't wish that on like the worst child in the world to go through the adoption system.
Father in a home because
it kind of just takes this like kid out of a bad situation and then gives him like a shittier one. Well, not a shittier one. Death is not always a death is probably the worst option, I guess.
Because you have 4 kids you have to take care of and a wife that relies on you. No one's going to say that you did that out of convenience. They're going to say...
The problem with this whole thing is it really just depends on whether you think that life happens at conception or not. Because that's where your mileage varies. If you think that life begins at conception, your position is wildly different than someone who doesn't have that position.
Oh yeah, I can understand. That's a lot of people to take care of, and one additional person, would make it a lot harder. On the topic of abortion, euphemisms are very popular on both sides.
All the euphemisms the left has to use with regard to the termination of the unborn, which itself is a euphemism with regard to the killing of the unborn, all the euphemisms, termination, abortion, Planned Parenthood, all of this stuff just demonstrates they don't want to talk about the issue, because when they talk about the issue, people immediately get uncomfortable. And they get uncomfortable because deep down in the human soul, something knows that there is something deeply wrong with a society that allows the killing of 1 million unborn children every year out of a perverse sense of authenticity and entitlement.
No, Ben, they get uncomfortable because it's fucking gross. No one wants to hear that shit. It's the same thing with circumcision. I'm sure you're familiar with circumcision.
I don't know if it's really the same thing as circumcision. And yeah, and I'm sure you're familiar with it because Jew.
Instead of using the word circumcision, how about we say cutting a baby's dick off? Oh, we don't say that because it's fucking gross? Okay, well, there you go.
Not to be... I'm not even going to say it. You know what I'm thinking.
Here's your answer.
It's a slaughter in our country.
And like... I think that most people kind of admit that circumcision is kind of fucking weird, right? Like that it's not like... I mean, I'm not like pro-circumcision. I feel like I'm more fucking clear on that than I am on abortion.
Million babies every single year. I'm going to be able to have sex how I want, and if I have to go put a dagger through, or have someone put a dagger through a child for me, then so be it.
That is a wow. Okay.
Sure. What the fuck is Charlie Kirk saying? He's talking about using an enchanted dagger to kill a baby. I don't think babies are being aborted via daggers all that often. Most abortions right now are with the pill. It's like over 60% or something.
The baby fights, the baby struggles, the baby dodges, the baby avoids, they break the neck of the baby.
The baby ducks, the baby dives, the baby dodges. All of these women know what abortion is. They're not fucking confused by it. They know that it's killing the baby. Now, Charlie Kirk knows that him labeling women as murderers would be a very unpopular take, but a lot of women voluntarily get abortions and oftentimes are relieved when they get them. So to cope with that idea, Charlie has come up with this fantasy that all of these women are just ill-informed.
I do not believe women, largely when they get abortions,
Yeah, it's stupid. Oh, they had no idea that they were killing me.
know what they're doing. They're not given ultrasounds for their baby. They're not informed of...
Can you do a poll of cut or uncut? Yeah, sure. Guys, I'm making this very clear. So you're only allowed to be in this if you're 18. All right. This is really stupid. We're talking about you, not what you think. Feel free to abstain voting. This is only for 18 plus.
The gruesome and
High YouTube drama. Dude, we're going to find out some big numbers here, dude.
graphic details surrounding their procedure. Instead, the justice system should be focused on the abortionists that are actually doing that procedure.
Do you think that people...
Abortionist is such a fucking stupid
People
term.
who procure abortions, women specifically,
Yes.
a woman who procures an abortion should go to jail for getting one?
Absolutely, yeah. They're the moral equivalent of Auschwitz.
Really?
Yes.
The moral equivalent of Auschwitz, dude. There's just so many fucking clips. Holy shit.
Millions of women are
not the
basically
women.
the same as like...
I just know if I was talking to Augie Nicole, I'd be like, yeah, dude, it's just like Auschwitz. What are you talking about? It's exactly the same.
Not the women. No, the women are victims. They're lied to. 90% of women do not see
Everything is the Holocaust. Everything is the Holocaust. Always.
an ultrasound before they have an abortion. They have
We're at about 60% cut, if people are wondering.
no idea what's happened to them. They're the victims here.
You hear that? They have no idea what's happening. These women are fucking...
What about the girlies in chat? I'm sorry, Nicole. Did you think that women can't be circumcised? Oh, sounds like you've got a Google search tonight, man.
Dumber than rocks. They have no idea what's happening to them unless you give them an ultrasound. Because women, they have this weird quirk where like they don't understand what's happening unless it's like really foggy.
I think we should bring back foot binding personally.
And scratchy and black and white. That's why like if you show a woman a map, it's not...
Wait, that turned dark. Why is that dark? Wait, is that... did I say something wrong? Why is that dark? Oh, did I miss the video? I missed something in the video. Jesus, hold on, we're going back.
Do not see an ultrasound before they have an abortion. They have no idea what's happened to them. They're the victims here.
You hear that? They have no idea what's happening. These women are fucking dumber than rocks. They have no idea what's happening to them unless... You
know what sucks? Is for like a second it sounded like iDubbbz came back. Like I was totally... Like I just kind of zoned out. I heard women are dumber than rocks. And I'm like, holy shit, this video isn't that bad.
Women are fucking dumber than rocks. They have no idea what's happening to them unless...
Dude, I finally found a good clip from this video.
Unless you give them an ultrasound. Because women, they have this weird quirk where like they don't understand what's happening unless it's like really foggy and scratchy and black and white. That's why like if you show a woman a map, it's not going to make any sense to her. But if you...
You know what's funny is I have this exact position, but it's like when people are trying to take the agency away from women in like every single like potential abuse scandal story or whatever. Like, the woman has to be like a retarded animal for the story to make sense some of these times.
Make it black and white and you...
Like, example, we literally just covered this. Peden's girlfriend, right? Sending her file full of fucking naked pictures of herself to fucking... Or, I guess, lewd images. I don't know what the fuck's on her Patreon. To the fucking guy.
Ask you nice enough? Add like a Gaussian blur to it. It'll make sense to them.
The justice system should be focused on the abortionists that are actually doing that procedure.
All the guilt and all of the illegality is put onto doctors and nurses. So if you're in the voter bloc, you can feel safe knowing that Charlie Kirk doesn't think you're a murderer, he just thinks that you're stupid. Charlie Kirk is very inconsistent with his policies on welfare. It feels very like a debate bro-brained. If he's arguing a
Oh no, debate bro-brained. Yeah, Hassan viewer confirmed. Yeah, there it is.
Life position or some other social issue, he'll have no problem bringing up the fact that there's plenty of welfare available.
But we have food stamps for anyone that needs it. We also have welfare cash for anyone that wants it. We have food stamps, we have Section 8 housing.
And then he'll talk to other people and describe his true feelings, which is, I want to eliminate welfare.
I reject those parts of government.
Of course. Income tax, welfare?
Yeah, that would be a good start. Food stamps are too much. Housing, Urban Development, Department of Education. Maybe we should be less focused on government welfare and more focused on work and literacy education and bringing fathers back into the home.
And then sometimes he'll propose...
Yeah, again, I think this is a pretty fair fucking criticism. I think that a lot of people are super fucking pro-life up until the point where the baby's born and they have absolutely no hope for the idea of, you know, any kind of well, they don't want to support the child after it's born. they leave that part out of the major pitch here.
His own bizarre welfare program, which has less
It's like, all right, it's alive. Send it to the fucking, I don't know. Do it.
I believe that
send it to Azkaban.
For every child you get, you should get cash from the federal government. Did you know that?
That's great. How much cash do you want them to have?
$10,000, $12,000 a year. I think we need to increase the birth rate in our country.
With the amount of inconsistency I'm hearing from Charlie Kirk on welfare, especially as it relates to people who are struggling, I would not trust a single fucking word that this guy has to say. He also just outright lies to this poor college student who's questioning welfare spending as it relates to abortions.
But would you support expanding welfare to help, because abortion's often an economic issue as well? You wouldn't to prevent it?
No.
That just sounds evil to me.
Well,
that just sounds
hold on. That's a good, interesting point. So we've expanded social welfare. We spent $20 trillion in the last 60 years. Has that made abortions go down?
I don't believe so.
The answer is no. It's gone up. So actually, the more we spend on social welfare, the more abortions we have. So you're coming at it from a faulty premise.
I feel like Charlie Kirk has been doing this long enough to know that spending has gone like this and abortions have gone like this. What the fuck? It is like... It's one thing if you want to argue that the abortion rate has gone down for separate reasons, but you have to make that argument. You can't just like try to dunk on a college student by lying to them. He's also obsessed with mentioning that there's a adoption waiting list of 2 million people.
Here's the problem I have with this video. I feel like it needs to cover one person. This is like a broad, I'm gonna tackle every fucking right-wing pundit's opinion on abortion and stuff like that, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna selectively pull out some of the worst arguments possible, which I'm sure there is no shortage of bad arguments from some of these people, but we're just bouncing back and forth between Charlie Kirk and Nick Fuentes and Ben Shapiro. Instead of making the abortion video, you should use abortion as a talking point in a Ben Shapiro video. This is just way too broad of a stroke.
So there's no such thing as an unwanted human being in this country. We have twice as many people on the adoption list than we have abortions in this country. There's 2 million people on the adoption waiting list right now, and there's 1 million abortions every single year. There are twice as many people on the adoption waiting list. There's 2 million families right now on the adoption waiting list, and there's 1 million abortions every single year.
This is another one of those situations where he's trying to set up a really straightforward equation that even the dumbest people can solve. Like, oh shit, so 1 million abortions every year, 2 million adoptive parents. That means we could stop abortions right now. That's not how that shit works. The foster care system sucks. The adoption system sucks.
Yep.
There's no such thing as unwanted children in this country. So the idea of an unwanted pregnancy is statistically untrue.
There absolutely is such thing as an unwanted person. They're in the foster care system right now. There's a lot of homeless people who are unwanted, and they've been unwanted. Over half of homeless people have been in the foster care system. This like pie in the sky.
Old Ian would have called them retards. Could you imagine if Ian started doing the breadtube stuff, but he started like just calling them retarded like freaks and shit the entire time? Like saying a lot of the shit that he used to say.
Israel is hiding my foreskin somewhere?
Do you think yes, I do think that. Yes. Listen, old Braun, I do think Israel has stolen your foreskin, and it is up to us to retrieve it. Okay.
Everything's
What do you
fine.
think? Gila Klein was deployed into the Middle East with the one fucking. She was tasked with circumcising all the people in terrorist town. Okay, that was her one job while she worked there.
The idea of there's no such thing as an unwanted person is factually untrue, and I don't think it's helpful for the reality that we're living in. Charlie has this very dumb gotcha that he likes to play with college kids.
One of these babies was conceived in rape. One of these babies was conceived in a consensual relationship. Which one's which? There's 2 ultrasounds I have. One is a baby conceived in rape. One is a baby conceived by a loving couple. Which one is which?
So this guy thinks
somebody
that
in this
fucking
audience is conceived in.
Wait, this guy thinks you can have a fucking you should have to be forced to have a rape baby. Fuck this guy, dude.
Nicholas DeOrio?
Absolutely fuck this guy.
Who is it?
I can't point
Exactly,
that out.
because
I mean,
babies
'cause I don't-
conceived in rape get the same human rights as babies conceived in a loving relationship.
Yeah,
All right,
that's a
Charlie.
winning position, dude. You're gonna win over a lot of people with that.
Which of these blurry blood clots is a heavy period or an abortion? Which of these blurry blood clots is an abortion and which is a miscarriage? Whichever one you say is an abortion, the person whose picture that is...
I know, guys. I picked a really brave position to dig my feet into the ground on right now. I know. I am virtuous, yes. I do think that rape babies should have the option to not continue to exist, yeah.
They're going to prison. If it isn't clear that these guys have some fucking breeding obsession at this point, let these clips be an example.
Just get married early. Reject the siren song of modernity and have lots of kids.
So what they found is either don't have any kids at all or have lots of kids. Have 4 kids, right? Which is what we intend on doing. We intend on having at least 4 children. Just to tick off the feminists, I may make it 5. I would define sexual success, frankly, as
Just to tick off the feminists, bro. You're gonna have to pay for a 5th college tuition just to fuck over those feminists, dude. You are a man of principle, Mr. Shapiro.
being in a loving marriage where you have lots of kids.
Get married and have
That guy sounds like a fucking loser, dude. I'm sorry. That's such a stupid thing to say.
lots of kids. I recommend all young...
Those feminists are gonna be so mad when I have my 5th member of my nuclear family. Anyways, I've just paid for my 5th college fund.
people to get married early and have lots of children. Do not believe the secular lie. I gotta wait. No.
Don't believe the secular lie. Unless you're me and all of my colleagues, me and all of my conservative colleagues, we all waited till we were 30 to have kids. But I think all of you in the audience, you should shit out kids when you're 16. That would be awesome. When Charlie Kirk needs to come up with practical...
Well, if you're talking about Nick Fuentes, he doesn't really see the difference between 16 and, I don't know, 20. You know, isn't that his thing? Who cares? What's the difference, right? Isn't that his position?
Practical solutions for real world problems. He doesn't suggest new laws or policies. He instead starts thinking about the world in...
Now it's 17? Oh, he's... Oh, my, you are mature. I'm sorry, I can't.
Terms of a Sims game.
Putting fathers back in the home. We should be putting fathers back in the home. For someone to bring fathers in the home, the number one way to lower crime is to put dads back in homes.
Yeah.
Fathers in the home. I'd love to put fathers back in the home.
Are you proposing legislation to bring fathers back in the home?
But I believe most women have a biological predisposition to procreate and to nurture and to be mothers. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not a very traditional person. You might say...
I agree. Hard agree.
Say that I'm infected with the woke mind virus, and I
don't know. You're infected with something, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the woke mind virus, but you are... Oh, casino. I'm going to play casino.
It's a good idea that fathers...
HIV, yeah, I think you have AIDS. That's a good point, chat. Yeah, he's probably infected with HIV.
Go back into the home. I don't know what the right phrasing is.
Fathers in the home.
I'll just say fathers in the home. I also believe in fathers in the home. But why would I ever say that? To get an applause?
To the cowardly men that impregnate women and disappear, shame on you, and you're a big part of this problem.
100% correct.
Anyone can point to statistics and say, it shows here that when you have this way of life, you have better outcomes, and your children have better outcomes. All right, so how are we going to employ that for people who don't want to live their life that way? I think a lot of these guys would do a lot better if they would just start fucking listening to the women that are around them.
Do you have any friends have ever had an abortion?
Yes.
Okay.
And I grieve for them.
You grieve for them?
Because they were taken advantage of by people like you and the abortion industry.
Right, they were taken advantage of. That's how they feel.
That's how I feel. Many of them, by the way.
That's how I feel that they feel. Yeah, dude. No need to, yeah.
Charlie Kirk has friends who got abortions who don't feel like they were taken advantage of. He feels that way for them.
My sister, she'll say things to me like, maybe I should have delayed having kids, maybe I should have went to school, maybe I should have did this or that. And it's like, Lindsay, you've been a great mom. Your children are happy, they're healthy.
Again, I cannot stray away from the fact that this probably should just be a Charlie Kirk video. I mean, it's so disjointed, bouncing back and forth between target to target. I'm not really sure why we're doing. There's a 30-minute runtime. We're supposed to kind of pull out what, like 4 major people's position.
Healthy people like my sister should not feel like,
yeah, it's too many targets. Like, it's not really substantive. It's like, here's the worst clip I could possibly find of every single person here. Here is me debunking it, and it's like, I have made argument.
the cultural messaging is your life is inadequate. The people who are sending that message should feel that their life is inadequate.
This is a normal complaint for every person to have. If you focus on one thing, there might be this looming regret that you have that you never did that other thing, that you never got a career, that you were never a doctor, that you never went on a backpacking trip, whatever the fucking thing is. That's a normal thing, and it's not the cultural messaging. These guys talk about how hard it is to raise kids.
You know, kids make you unhappier in some ways, but a lot happier in other ways. In fact, what polls show is that a lot of couples who don't have kids are pretty happy. Hell, I mean, I can understand why. I've had kids, I've not had kids. I understand. It would be fun to go out with my wife every night. It'd be great not to have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on children.
Raising children is hard. It is a death to yourself. It is one of the most difficult things you can do.
Saying that having kids is a death to yourself and one of the hardest things you'll ever do is, I think, very truthful. But these are statements that you're saying at 31 years old. How the fuck do you expect someone who's 18 to be able to handle that?
How'd they get pregnant? What do you mean? They had sex, unprotected, or an accident?
So they want the orgasm without the responsibility. All the loose lifestyle, but none of the responsibility.
I think these guys have a very own up to it attitude where they have this kind of internal feeling of okay, I did the dirty deed, therefore I should own up to this responsibility and spend my life raising a child. They think that
well, I'm just curious, isn't that the exact mentality you'd have if, you're the fucking pro-choice person, but you're the guy, and then the woman's like, well, I'm gonna have the kid anyway. I mean, yeah, your position there would be fucking own up to it. Be a fucking man. Be there for your fucking kid. I guess they're just asking for that to be both ways.
They need to suffer in that way and that the child needs to suffer in that way, but that's not the case. You can recognize that it was maybe a bad thing that you did, but that's...
I don't know if that's my interpretation of the argument. I don't think that's necessarily my position.
Very personal and individual to everyone. And if you personally feel like there's something that you need to own up to and take responsibility,
yes, that's how you'll get it back.
Responsibility for, you're well in your right to do that. While researching this,
you didn't get the last point. My point is, when he's saying stuff like, well, they have this own up to it attitude, right? The own up to it attitude isn't just fucking native to conservatives, okay? The own up to it attitude comes from hey, I want to have this kid. Well, I don't want to have this kid. Well, unfortunately, it's my body. I'm going to decide that I'm having this kid. So it is now up to you to own up to it, be the father to this child, and take responsibility for your actions. Ian is prescribing this as this is a uniquely conservative talking point when, basically, as long as you're the guy in the relationship, this is kind of your only option. You don't really have a say in what moves forward. So it's a uniquely female perspective to be able to have that option, if that makes sense.
This video, I discovered that the topic of abortion is kind of fracturing the right wing. They have a lot of different ideas of when life starts.
Although I consider myself begrudgingly pro-choice, and we can pick what that means.
I'm a pro-life absolutist and totally respect disagreements on the issue.
I lost my job at a...
Not true, you don't have to own up to your child, but you can be sued, though. And again, I think you absolutely should own up to your child. I'm not. I think that's 100% a thing that you should do. I don't think that you should be like a Tonka saw. You know.
Conservative network because I said I was pro-choice.
People who call themselves pro-life are not actually as pro-life as I am. They're like, well, I'm pro-life, which means like abortion in the first trimester.
They're not as pro-life as I am. I think the sperm is alive. Dude, you're
pro-life absolutist. I think I'm an abortion absolutist. Like, I'm not like pro-life or pro-choice. I just think that we have enough people, and I think we should just stop.
What is Bunty King?
Dude, every time I watch a new Hassan Piker stream, I'm just like, yeah,
Nicholas DeOrio?
I think I'm pro-abortion. Not choice, abortion.
the one who said that you would have your daughter keep her rapist baby.
Would you want her to go through that and carry her rapist baby?
That's awfully graphic. The
People.
answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
You're a loser. It's more important.
That's awfully graphic. The
People.
answer is yes.
You know what? You can just hear like this script was like, all right, Ian, your line was, you're retarded. And then this came out. It just sounds so soy.
Want her to go through that and carry her
That's
rapist baby?
That's awfully graphic. The
People.
answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
You're a loser. It's
Ian, your line was, you're fucking retarded. And again, not wrong.
It's more important that you win a debate instead of being a little bit emotionally empathetic.
I conceived, and I've told this story before, all three of my children via IVF, but some hardcore pro-lifers, and I understand their position.
That's graphic. Yeah, it is graphic. It's real. That really does happen. Yeah.
I respect their views, but I completely disagree with them. Think this is a win because they don't like IVF because it creates embryos, not all of which get used.
I respect their views, but I completely disagree with them. This is why Democrats lose elections. Because, like, when Megyn Kelly disagrees vehemently...
Oh my god, bro.
...with her party, she's like, but I totally respect their views.
I can't wait for the Palestine video. I fucking can feel it, dude. We're gonna hear clips of fucking Kamala Harris. I'm so excited.
Hold it down for my brothers.
You just know it's coming, chat.
It's like, fuck you.
Here's what's ironic about me, Mr. Right-Winger, when it comes to abortion, and I even say this. I go, look, when I was younger, I got a few girls pregnant, and I was glad there were Planned Parenthoods, or whatever the f***.
Right now, you're watching Hit Like, they're pro-life, and they can laugh.
Man, that's a crazy admission of who's watching your program. I'll wrap this thing up by saying that these guys are well aware that they're losing the war.
It seems to me this is always going to be a loser for Republicans.
I understand it's not politically feasible. I understand people like abortion, but I'm going to keep on standing for moral truth, even if it's unpopular.
There will be some people that say, Charlie, stop talking about this issue. It's a losing issue. First of all, who cares?
And so we've lost the culture war to a certain extent on abortion. And what Donald Trump is doing right now is trying to win this election.
Based on the vibes I'm getting, it really feels like a lot of these people are not that committed to the pro-life movement. All right, everyone.
Dude, I just can't help but think that, like, why wasn't this video released prior to the election? What is it with, like, I mean, look at Destiny. He doesn't finish the January 6th doc video. iDubbbz releases a fucking call to action on abortion after Trump wins the presidency. Why are all these breadtubers so fucking slow? I mean, listen, I'm Nick DeOrio. I post my videos whenever the fuck I want, but it just feels like all these videos are like 6 months too late.
Everyone, that is going to do it for this video. I hope it was enjoyable for you to watch, and a big shout.
I think the video was fine, dude. I think it was fine. It's not the worst video I've ever seen. It's probably one of the better ones that he's released recently. I just think it's cringe. Dude, it's people want to like isolate this to being like iDubbbz is no longer edgy and he doesn't say the N-word and that's why people don't like him anymore. And it's like, no, that's not the case. iDubbbz is like awkward now and he has no aura. He's not confident when he speaks. His jokes all suck. His new humor isn't funny. He has absolutely no fucking presence on the fucking screen anymore. I don't care. He could go up there and he could say N-word F slur, all right, right now, hard R, all right? It's not going to change my opinion of that video. That video is cringe. And I agree with like a decent portion of what was said in there. Yeah, he's not gay anymore. Like, again, I mean, there's no fucking better thread. I always go back to this one. And I always want to show this one off, but...
I don't respect you.
Hey, thank you so much for the dono. Oh, no! Heard about the abortion debate on Chud's stream. It's always expressed as
the abortion debate on Chud's stream. It's always expressed as a binary choice. with no mention of adoption. I'm the birth mother of a little girl, in college now, who was a blessing to her adoptive family. We are close.
Well, we know that adoption exists, and I'm glad it was a really cool situation for you. Like, it really worked out for you. Then again, you could ask people like Tommy. All right, Tommy is a very, very different view of the foster system than your typical one that people see often. I'll just say that because he's been very vocal about it on his streams. I don't really know exactly what happened, but go ask him. He'll give you a very different story. I guess it really depends where you are and the type of facility, I imagine. And there's probably other factors at play as well. It's just like, I don't know, man. Abortion's a tough issue. It really is. It is a nuanced discussion, despite the fact, like, the people want it to be like, well, you're killing a fucking life. And again, we talked about it before. It depends on where you think life begins or where it ends. I gotta be honest, man. I just don't know if I'm equipped to talk about it. It's easy to say that after the segment's over. I don't really know if I'm the guy, you know what I mean? To kind of give you the fucking abortion talk on stream. It feels kind of gay. I'm gonna go back to talking about iDubbbz now. I'm glad iDubbbz grew up, and I don't want him to go back to his old content. I mean, I feel like if you watch this, you kind of have a pretty decent idea where I land on it. I'm willing to tell you that I could not make this video either.
Oh no!
I would not be able to make this video well. I'm glad iDubbbz grew up, and I don't want him to go back to his old content. I just have a hard time finishing his newer videos. I'm glad he grew up and changed for the better, and there's no use dwelling on the past. I just feel like his newer videos have an identity crisis. It's like watching a butterfly come out of its cocoon, but it has nowhere to fly to. I find it annoying because how the vocal minority of old fans won't shut the fuck up. He's immune to criticism. He's just immune to criticism, and it's like you either have to be a 2016 revisionist or act like he's just being persecuted by Sam Hyde. I don't care that his wife is a sex worker. I just don't find her charismatic or entertaining like other people he's worked with. Bingo. Bingo. I actually liked this. Wow, that's funny. I wouldn't mind if he revisited Content Cop, even though if he was and I think this is Content Cop now. I feel like Content Cop is going to be this broad, vague... I'm going to talk about abortion. I'm going to talk about fucking women's rights. I'm going to go talk about voting regulations. I'm going to talk about Palestine. I do think these videos would be better if he just picked any one of these figures that he was blasting clips up of the whole time. Like, make a video on fucking Ben Shapiro. Again, like, it's been done, though. I think there's probably like 100 video essays on Charlie Kirk. I don't know if Ian's really moving the needle on anyone's opinions there either. Oh, this one. I would say I agree. Content Cop at its core was about calling out shitty people and content on the internet. Ian just literally employed a lot of problematic language and humor and etc. in his presentation of it. I think revisiting the series would be a good idea since there's still a lot more creators the format could apply to. It's just like you have to go after every single person that's not Hassan Piker. It's so weird. It's just like normal people at Hassan Piker's orbiters now. That's the political landscape of YouTube. The line in the sand is YouTube versus Hassan Piker. Because anything right of Hassan Piker is a neo-Nazi. I can't help but think that there's a way to do Content Cop and Kickstarter crap, which he's tried to do, without saying the N-word. He's deeply ashamed of Content Cop. I wouldn't mind him doing more documentaries either. I thought those were boring, to be honest. I mean, that's fine. He just grew up from his old content. You grew up from your old watching habits. That's just not true. It's just cope. It's just, these videos aren't good. They're not good. Even if you're politically aligned with every single thing that he said, that video is not entertaining. If you're looking for a breadtube video, your mileage may vary. If you're looking for any kind of entertaining video related to any of the content he's ever made before, this was a bigger deviation in content than him just not saying the N-word anymore or talking about sex workers. Becoming like a fucking pseudo breadtuber is a bigger deviation than what he did before. And I think that it's kind of got to be more entertaining. You got to put some decent jokes in there if you're going to do it. I like the documentaries. I wish iDubbbz would do more of those. I honestly wish he did more documentaries. No, literally, it's been so frustrating figuring out the story. And then you have threads like this. Actually, what is this one? Oh yeah, I'll go back to that in a second. That's where I'll end off. Not trying to strawman anyone. I'm still trying to separate the girlfriend is on OnlyFans, you're a hypocrite, got him, from the more reasonable takes. I'm seeing unprompted talks about iDubbbz being the most pathetic reformed troll story. And I don't understand. Dude looks inward and saw his beliefs no longer align with his past actions. So he disavowed the past, and it goes for his edgy shit and the OnlyFans bad comments. He just changed his mind. People can do that. It's just like, yeah, that's true, and then people could acknowledge that you're not funny anymore and that your new humor is bad. Why is he considered pathetic for growing up? It's because he self-flagellates all the time and just chain whips himself over and over and over again for our entertainment. He's not respectable. That's why he's considered pathetic. I think that, again, Ethan Klein is a much more clear example of quote-unquote growing up. Where you went one way, you went the other way, you ended up somewhere in the middle, and you're kind of a nuanced position now. I think that's totally fair. Growing up, that's a cope. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's because they're much like those edgy humor guys building a brand on parroting bigotry as comedy. Naturally, they attract an audience that are genuine bigots. He never managed to successfully gain a new audience after shedding his previous one, and his girlfriend and him both seem incapable of not just talking about or engaging with the trolls. I mean, that's a reasonable position that's actually highly upvoted. Because his audience didn't do it to him, there's also a large part of the internet that places high value on being manly. Yeah, I think that people were looking at iDubbbz as like peak male form. I think that's the problem. You're probably right on that one. Your first mistake is thinking people defined by being emotionally stunted also think personal growth and life progression is a good thing. It's like personal growth is whatever leftist talking point that I actually agree with currently. His content just sucks nowadays. You want a good example why modern iDubbbz sucks? Watch his recent appearance on Cold Ones. Max and Chad are actually funny and energetic, while Ian stands there like he has a lobotomy. I 100% agree. His content is awful. So, I mean, there is some pushback here. It's not just total cope. Yep, I only watched this latest video. Painfully unfunny. Yeah, current iDubbbz. Again, I always reference this. We're gonna go to iDubbbz. Is this it? No, it's not. What? Like, people are asking me, dude, why don't you guys like iDubbbz? Why don't you guys like iDubbbz? Where is it?
You start at the bottom, and you're like, oh yeah, I got enough. You just got 5, 4, 3, and then it's 1. There's no way of winning.
Greetings and salutations, my little cheese demons. How long can I hold this plank? My arms aren't shaking, shut up. My lats aren't pulsating, shut up. I don't have the tiniest bit of precum leaking out of my fuzzy little fella. By the way, this isn't about shit.
This guy's fucking eating Cheez-Its for a video. He's eating all the flavors of Cheez-Its. I didn't even know there was more than like regular and flavor blasted.
Zesty cheddar ranch grooves. Puffed cheddar jack. What the fuck is cheddar jack? Who came before the silent generation? Was it like the generation with...
There was like a median point in iDubbbz's transformation of just some of the worst content. I'll even take like the hunting squirrels videos. The hunting squirrels videos weren't terrible. What else is here? There was I thought there was another one like that. I turned a mango seed into a mango pet. I have some opinions on strip malls. I made a super... Okay, this is kind of cool. I didn't see it. What is 100% women?
People don't go into fighting that had great lives.
Oh, this is the... Okay, I got it. This is about the fighter. Okay. Then he did bad unboxing.
Testing. I'm using a... have usernames on Discord World Peace.
His audio quality is still shit. I don't understand. You were a YouTuber for how many years?
Ugh. I know you guys have been waiting for the blade to come out. Look how effective I am. All right. Oh, it's literally like an osteoporosis model. Oh, that is awesome. This is what you don't want your bones to look like. These are unhealthy bones. Y'all treat me.
It's just, I'm sorry. Not doing it for me. I'm sorry. My bad. How can you respect? I don't know. Blue Yeti, woohoo. There's no way he's using a Blue Yeti.
Too well. Look at that. Does this squirt out guts? I feel legit protected in this. It was sponsored sex releasing menthol, which to me is like usually the main indicator of whether or not a dog food is operating the way.
He's sponsored by fucking dog food? Where the fuck did he even get that? 50% off Sunday's dog food? I feel like that's actually a decent sponsor for this. But like in the past, he would eat it.
Take their thankful for it.
He's fucking filming his dog. Why is he not eating the dog food? Isn't that like what you'd expect from bad unboxing? Guys, this video is sponsored by dog food and he just starts fucking eating it? That would be funny.
Start using this when I reboot the squirrel series because I can totally see getting the idea to fuck around with a wasp nest. From VAT19, we got a tear stick. It says, apply tear stick.
Eat the Zog Chow. I gotta Google what Zog Chow actually is. I've been saying it a lot. All right, guys, I'm fucking done. I'm done. That's the Ian segment. We went through 4 tonight. Oh, God, I am fucking exhausted. I think that was a pretty solid first stream of the year. If I do say so myself, I had a great time. I hope you guys had a fantastic time too. I'm going to start running through some donos, and then I'll be back in a few days, probably.